what is that like your background of being where you were and like raps coming to you and like going from like you saying you rapping on the bad boy stuff, but like having that like underground gritty sound, like was that something where you like I like those beats better than like the Hitman stuff? I like more Premiere stuff, or you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
what were they rapping over and stuff?
yeah. So after that, I just automatically started to take it serious. And obviously from New York, like I remember, I think the like listening to Big Pun, like
Yeah,
that was someone that I could identify with as, being Puerto Rican and all that. And obviously just that's the sound in New York. Like I started writing raps when I lived in Brooklyn. So that
got you.
whole like living in the shelter, seeing other kids rap, that was in Brooklyn. And just where I was at in Brooklyn, Flatbush, everything was hardcore rap, bro. Biggie, the Locks, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just what I was really just influenced by, sonically.
Got you. Was that like was besides the music fueling you, was it also like your current situation fueling you as well? Like the but you just saying being in the shelter or like dealing with those things, dealing with the people probably in there as well. Was that something that was like like cultivating who you started to become like in rap music?
I would probably say indirectly, bro, because like just my love for it was purely because it was fun,
Got you.
and I'm
Got you.
sure that it. I always say like I feel like in a lot of ways, even before I was saved, rap
Yeah.
rap saved my life because it just distracted me from what was going on in the street.
Oh wow.
You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Okay.
So it was
Yeah.
just I truly just love the art of it. And wow, my guys was doing stuff in the street, like just as even as kids, bro. Like I remember, like one of my friends, 10 years old, put crack in my hand. He was like, yo, you could rap about this now because you touched it.
Jeez. Wow. Wow.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, bro, I just fell in love with it. And I don't even know how I adopted it, but then I started battle rapping like
Yeah.
12, 11 years old, bro. And I just loved it, bro.
Was like what made you stay in the house or what made you stay away from the streets like that? You know what I'm saying? Or was what did the streets eventually pulling you in, or what what was it that kept you from the streets, or what brung you to the streets?
So I was definitely being influenced by the music.
Mm,
So it was pure, just loving the art of it. But I definitely remember being influenced by the music. I remember putting red rags around my head. I said that on a record.
wow.
Like so I definitely wanted to be a gang member. I definitely
Wow.
wanted whatever the image was that I was seeing. Like
Yeah.
it influenced me. My mom and my dad weren't together, but my mom started to speak to my dad like, "Yo, I think he's going down on the wrong path." So I started hanging out in the street and stuff like that. And pops had to step in and move me away from Brooklyn, and then I ended up in New Jersey.
Okay. What part of Jersey?
I lived in various places in Jersey, but when I first moved to Jersey, it was Montclair, New Jersey. So
Okay.
it was definitely different than Brooklyn.
That's so funny. I'm from East Orange, but that's crazy. I
I lived in East Orange as well, bro.
okay, cool, cool, man. That's amazing, bro. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So, well, pops really like. Did you feel like that situation really changed everything for you to get away from from that environment like that? That moving.
Mm, so I feel like just the things that I was going through in
Yeah.
New York, it already did the damage that it did to like me mentally. So when I moved to Montclair, even though like that's the suburbs and it's a lot safer and it's better, like the things that I just went through as just a child was already in effect. So it didn't change that much in my mindset. It was better for
Yeah.
sure, but I was already New Yorked out by the time I got to New Jersey.
Got you. So what was the some people, of course, when you said red flag, you're talking about the blood gang. What was it? What was that appeal from them? Like, what was? I know you're saying like your dad got back in your life, but what was the appeal from that? Like, what was that appeal that were making you like, yo, this is I want to do this. You know what I mean?
Um, Yo, so it just appeared like they had a lot of unity. You know what I
Got
mean?
you.
Like it was
Got
just a
you.
lot of them. They made it look cool. And like I said, the music influenced me, bro. So, you know, Jim Jones, Joel Santana, Dipset, watching them with red flags and all of that. Like they made it look cool. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And that
yeah.
and I didn't just want to be like a blood to just be a blood. I wanted to be like a blood rapper. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like I want to wear the flag while rapping, while I just got an army of killers behind me. Like that just looked good. When in reality, I probably was just looking for, like I said, bro, living in shelters and stuff like that. I was looking for community and acceptance and all of that type of stuff that a young man looks for.
Got you. Wow, man, that's an amazing story and saying that because I mean, so many people who gonna watch this is probably gonna hear that story and gonna be like, man, I could relate to that. You know, what I mean, I could relate to growing up like I want to be a part of this because of the music. And sometimes we don't even think about it from that standpoint that the influence of music. Sometimes we just thinking like, man, maybe our backgrounds and all that plays part of it, but sometimes we don't think about like how influential the music is on people's lives that they may look at something and go, man, that's cool, that's that. You know what I'm saying? Let me get down with that. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. There's an appeal, bro.
yeah.
It looks appealing, bro, because if you grow up and you don't really you know have that community, you know what I mean. Like I'm not gonna say that my dad wasn't in my life. My dad was super in my life, but
Oh wow,
my parents weren't together.
got
You
you.
know what I mean? So
Yeah,
while mom's at work, her son's doing whatever he's doing.